Yes, another gold medalist bringing us back on here to the Runaround on ESPN 1300, brought to you by Holabird Sports, the only show dedicated to runners and endurance athletes. And if you want great customer service for all of your running needs, check Holabird Sports out at holabird.sports.com. Once again, that's Holabird Sports.
Hey, and if you're relaxing, laying in a tub right now and listening to the show, just give us a call at 410-481-1300. We'll be glad to talk to you while you're in the tub.
And finally, someone to keep Ryan and Brad company from the Dirty Jers. Someone calling from New Jersey. We have Tom, who wants to give us a quick shout-out about Morgan Usini and her failed attempt at the 1500. Tom, you're on the Runaround.
Yeah, hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you picking up my message here.
Hey, we always take out-of-staters.
I appreciate it. So the question was, what was one of the favorite races? And there were so many good ones, but I have to tell you, I love the 4x100 women's relay. I mean, if that didn't tell you the spirit of the games, I don't know what it would tell you. But that being said, I have a one point to make, and that is, I think social media really brought up the Olympics to a new level. I loved it, loved following everybody. And with that said, I want to ask the team out there what they thought about this young lady, Usini, if I said her name right, Usini, the runner from the USA, who fell again, who was tripped, and didn't get up to finish that race. And I was just wondering what your thoughts were about that.
Yes, and you're referring to Morgan Usini, the 1,500-meter runner for the United States. And Tom,
right.
Brad, Ryan, and I were just talking about this before we came back from break, and we have two different thoughts. So do you want to hear the good cop, bad cop philosophy here? You can talk to the bad cops first. You can talk to me, the good cop here.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, here's what I think. Morgan Usini, she got tripped again in the final lap of the 1,500. And now I'm sure for those of you who are watching the event, they referenced her performance at the World Championships last year in 2011 in Daegu, South Korea, where she was the number one ranked 1,500-meter runner in the world. And she got tripped up at a time where she was arguably the best runner in that event. And yes, that's very frustrating. And when it comes to the Olympics, this is the pinnacle of athletic achievement for track athletes. You are Olympic gold trumps all. And we're getting to the last lap, knowing the frustration of last year from getting tripped at the 1,500 final in the World Championships. It happens again. But you can see the immediate reaction was frustration. She was not planning to get back up. My thought on it is it's really frustrating because she can't help it. And it's about positioning, about where you are in the pack. But at the same time, it's out of her control. When you're in a race it's 12 bodies in the field, and it's still packed up like that because it goes out in a slow pace, that's going to happen. But it's really not her fault. Now, should she go immediately to the track and start smacking her hands and begin the waterworks? I think you got to finish the race. For the sake of dignity, sake of sportsmanship, you got to get up and finish.
All right, good cop, enough. All right, bad cop number one. Get your butt up off the track and finish the race. People are still running over her, and she's already slamming the track and having a hissy fit. Get up and finish the race. It would, all right, you might have been in last place by a second or two when you got back up and gotten going again, but you still had a chance to finish that race. People would give you a lot more credit than they are today.
And of course, I say she wasn't injured. She wasn't hurt. Get up, make sure you finish that race. But really, you hit the ground. Your first instinct, just automatic should be get up and start running again, not start crying and having throwing a tantrum. The field was kicking, and that's always going to be tough. They ran a 58-second last lap. Tirunesh Dibaba ran 60 seconds at the end of the 10K. 58 seconds for these girls who were not running very fast in this 1,500 meter race. The winning time was 4:10. Half the field had been 4 minutes or better for this year. 58-second last lap, she would have lost 2 seconds. She could have run a 57, maybe not pulled herself to the gold, but you just never know. You never know who's going to falter in the final stretch. And, you owe it to yourself to just see if you could move up.
And all three of us are runners here. I think we've all been through that experience before where you've been tripped and you've gone down. And sometimes that little bit of distraction during a race is all you need to get yourself, okay, everything's good, and get yourself up. And all of a sudden you find that extra burst of energy you didn't think you had. So I just think she could have gotten there and gotten herself, maybe not one, but she could have gotten herself fourth, fifth, sixth.
It happened once, shame on everybody else for tripping her. It happens twice. And like I said to Brad, who agrees with me, Lance Armstrong wins 7 Tours de France because he maintains a good position in the field all 3 weeks, paying attention, heads up. You don't crash if you're in the front of the field. You crash when you're in the middle or the back of the peloton. Morgan Houston was just sitting too far back. If you want to win this race, you can't sit on the inside rail and expect to just be able to move out without some bumping.
Well,
I said the same thing about Rupp during the races. I was standing up screaming at the TV going, why are you sitting there on the rail like that? You've got a long stride. If you're a tall guy, get outside a little bit where you're not going to tangle up with all these guys' legs that are running little short steps.
Well, this begs the question, Tom, what do you think?
Well, you all agree with me. We just took it to a different end. I agree. When I saw her fall, I thought maybe she could have done a roll and gotten back up. I mean, I'm sure her ego was bruised. I feel for her. But the champion finishes it. When you look at, I believe was the Chinese hurdler.
Lu Shang from China,
right,
yep.
Who also pulled up lane and yet went towards the end and finished it. And you've seen it over time. That's what it's about. It's the spirit, I know America loves to have winners and be the best and the biggest and have the most medals, but as you get older and you watch Olympics after Olympics after Olympics, you really understand what it really is about. It is about the competition and let the best person win. And for me, I bleed red, white, and blue, but I love to see the winner come alive. And if that is somebody from another country, it's great. So the flip side to this whole thing is, if you have fallen down, then you need to get yourself up and finish that race. That's the champion. That's the Olympic spirit, and that's what I looked at. So you all, we're good cops and bad cops. We all agree with the same thing. She should have finished it. And, just thanks a lot. And one last thing I'd say to you is thank you for having Matt share on, was it last week, the week before?
Yes, 2 weeks ago.
Because I really understood from that call a lot more about those types of races. And your tie-in today was perfect. I just want to say thanks. I love listening to you guys. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling, Tom.
Okay.
And what I'll also say about that, he's saying that you need to get up and finish. I completely agree. You come that far, you might as well finish. You got to mention one of the most iconic moments in Olympic history, my personal favorite, and I was 3 years old. Derek Redmond,
Yeah.
1992 Barcelona, tears a hamstring, I believe, and he gets up, he hobbles, and running 300 meters after tearing a hamstring, or 250 meters or so, it's not easy. It's painful. And his dad comes all the way down from the stands, hops the fence, and comes out in the field and helps him carry him to the finish. I think that's fantastic.
That's always a tearjerker for me.
It really is. But I'm not
it-
afraid to admit that.
And you think about the other guys, Tom mentioned Lu Shang, the Chinese hurdler who won gold in 2004 and just has struggled with injuries ever since.
He has failed to clear a hurdle since his 2004 gold in Athens.
Well,
because of injury.
Well, even in last year's World Championships, where he was headed for what would have been a likely win, and he gets kind of impeded. But he hits the first hurdle, goes down, hops off weirdly off the track, and then comes back and hobbles to the finish. Manteo Mitchell in the men's 4x400 breaks his fibula at 200 meters, finishes and runs a 46 second.
Was it the fibula or was it a femur?
It was a fibula. Femur. I don't think femur. You're not going anywhere. Fibula, you can do. Femur, you're out.
Either way, it's serious.
Yeah.
But we actually have James calling in from Centerville right now. James, you're on the runaround.
Hey, how you guys doing? First off, I love the show, but I wanted to know what you guys thought about Galen Rupp. I know he did good in the first race there, but it seemed like that 5,000 meter seemed like that he was just dead. What do you guys think?
Well, I think with the 5,000, you have to think about the athlete. So the 10,000 was on Saturday. He had a great race, obviously. Second place, silver medal behind his training partner and best friend. And then he's got to go a whole week. He obviously had a semifinal heat in there, but he has to go a week. And that field was just, they had him outgunned. He was just outgunned in that field. Most of those guys, with the exception of Farah, didn't run the 10K. You obviously had Iguodare from Morocco, who had run the 15. So you have some guys who are ready for this race, and the slow pace, I don't think, helped Rupp. 13:40 winning time, but the last mile, of course, under 4 minutes.
Under 4 minutes, yeah.
Rupp just looked out of it. Legat, kind of got tripped up towards the end. I don't know if that would have made a difference in him potentially getting third.
Yeah, if the question's about Rupp, I would say that, yes, the 10K did take something out of him, but at the same time, Mo Farah's coming back from the 10K. What I will say about Rupp is his speed has improved. I thought his 5K was going to be better than it was, but he's a tempo runner. That first mile of the 5K went out so slow that it was just lending itself to an absolute blast of a last mile.
It went out so slow. Brad actually was jogging alongside. If you notice on the NBC coverage, Brad was out there.
You may have seen it. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I just think that the race didn't play out to his favor, especially when you're tired.
Look at positioning. Look where Farah was during that 5,000. He was never in on the rail. He was always out from the rail a little bit. He didn't really have to always pay attention to where his feet were going. Rupp was up right on the rail, and if you looked at him, he was always looking down and looking up. He wasn't paying as much attention to the race as he was with, I don't know. American Girl. I don't know. I forgot.
Brad is 55. We see it.
Huh? Where am I?
He just woke up, ladies and
Anyway,
gentlemen.
thanks for calling in, James. We appreciate it. But yeah, Tom from New Jersey brings up a great point. We haven't talked about it yet. 4x1, the women. World record. 40.82 seconds. It's insane. 10 point what? That's 10.2 seconds per split. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Beautiful
and mind
to
you,
watch.
they crush the Jamaican team. And there has been not even a budding rivalry, a long existing rivalry between the United States and Jamaica that I thought the race was going to be much closer. I mean, look at this Jamaican team. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price.
Olympic champion.
Olympic champion, two Olympics running now. Sharon Simpson, Veronica Campbell-Brown, another proven champion, and Karen Stewart. They run 41.41, which is a fantastic time in and of itself. But the United States, this new team, Tiana Madison, formerly a long jumper who turned to sprinting. She had a big 60-meter debut in the indoor track circuit this year. Allison Felix, the best sprinter
Allison Felix
in the world right now.
Absolutely. USA TF better make her the female performer of the games. I mean, she just had an unbelievable week. But I think, Greg, your point, you look at the Jamaican team, and obviously you've got Fraser-Price and Veronica Campbell-Brown, who were in the medals for the 100-meter open. But Karan Stewart and Sharon Simpson, starting to get up there, just a few too many races. But you've got this super motivated team of American women, and they just put together a race. We've had so many issues with getting the stick around.
The handoffs were perfect.
They were great.
Perfect.
And that's why Bianca Knight, she is, like we were talking about stature and running the curve, she's a great curve runner. And the stick work was perfect, as you said, and she came around that curve, handing the baton off to Carmelita Jeter, probably the best split runner you can have out there. She has a great closing speed. I think our top end speed comes in later. I mean, you really want no one else in the world anchoring for
They
you
looked like a
than her.
collegiate men's 4x100 team. I couldn't believe when I saw it.
Absolutely. Anyway, we're going to continue this conversation in the Olympics coming up here on the Runaround, ESPN 1300.